this. Now let's put on some music and let's skedaddle. I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. And let's see. I'll give some time for others to jump on in. Because last time, a lovely gentleman purchased my work. So we're just going to do that and get it in. Let's see here. Okay. Now let's put on some nice, lovely music and we will be good. I'm only here for about an hour, so if let's see here. Let's see here. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up some good music here. Of course, it has to be copyright free music, whatever that may be. Let's see here. No, this might not work. Okay, let's see. Let's find something else. Good evening, good afternoon, if you happen to get to me a little later. But yeah, I definitely today is one of those I'm just showing up kind of thing, but I will be working on stuff, so that's cool. Let's see. DRM free. Let's say 80s. Okay, let's do that. I hope you guys are doing okay this evening. Okay. Alrighty. Let's get to this inking. And if there's a topic that you guys want to chat about, we can. Otherwise, I am just going to just be here. I hope the music isn't too buggy. Make sure. All right. And I'm trying to get this, correctly adjusted. So let's get going, shall we? Oh, sorry. Let me give you a quick rundown of what I'm using. Just a random technical pen, whether it's Sakura or whatever, like off brands. You can use any of these. It's not a biggie. After that, I do like using the Tombos right here. The Tombos drawings. I think, where is it? What's the real name for this? There you go. There you go. I don't know if you'll see it, but like, yes. The Tombos. I like using those. Those are nice and simple. Let's get to the point. One is softer than the other, but they are in a pack. Any kind of basic white gel pen, or if you prefer to use like an actual brush, you can do that. And then sometimes I just have some leftover brush pens that are softer than the Tombos, mostly to maybe add an effect or a brush stroke. So this is a bullet nib. I've just started to get used to using, whatchamacallit, I've just gotten used to using like bigger nibs, even though this is a small document paper. Just a random marker for black fill. Just a warning, if you're using like a cheap marker, these will fade over time, so make sure you scan in your work. And let's see, sometimes I use, let's see, the 0.1 size, but I think I need a 0.3 tonight, so. I've collected like random pens, and honestly, I'm sure there's a couple of pens in here that's not actually, that's not even good anymore, but I know I need to just use them up, so I'm just gonna find me one. Let's see, this one says 0.4, so this might, yep, that'll work for today. That's what I mean, like I'm getting to the point where I'm just gonna work on stuff, so I will need a ruler today. Let's see, I don't like this one. I want it without words. Okay. And I do have some topics that I could chat about. But I might just make it nice and simple on me today, really. This is one. Welcome, Ray. I'm just inking some comics here. If there's any question for art or chatting, let me know. But I definitely am at a trying to get myself to make sure I show up every Tuesday. So and sometimes there's just those days where you just need to show up, you know? So hopefully you find it motivational just to get yourself working. I know, because if you don't build it, eventually, like, the time passes you by so quickly. And if I'm going to ever have, like, a regret, it's just not making sure to be consistent. And you hear that all the time in, like, those, like, self-motivational building gurus. And it's just, I was just too stubborn. And I'm just like, when I tell you I'm really not feeling it today, but sometimes it's just you just gotta show up and do the work, you know? So hopefully you get yourself to drawing also. I'm thinking. And sometimes it's okay to not be able to draw really good. Just just keep going, you know? So it's a chill stream for tonight. I'm probably gonna be here until 8:30ish. So if you have any topics you want to talk about, you let me know. Other than that, I could tell you about a story about AI that happened at work. If you're interested, let me know. Or you can let me know, like, how'd you end up finding my work? The AI story. So it's not too long of a story, but it's definitely something that I've noticed already coming, kind of like coming up as it is anyways. What happened is, I don't know if you guys have heard on various forums, because I follow things about like how to do it print on demand, and there's been the recent public meeting about is Etsy, which I've tried 2 or 3 times throughout years ago, and I'm just like, look at this. I'm just kind of over Etsy. But more than anything is the fact that a lot of places, let's see, I have Amazon on demand, like print on demand also. So from time to time, I put some of my illustrations as print on demand on Amazon. But I everywhere now is starting to get overly inundated by AI art, and the problem is that they're done by people who don't know art, and this was my main concern with AI. It's not so much that it exists, even though it may not exist ethically. It's the fact that the average person just will not be able to tell or care to tell until they like really zoom in, and that's been the issue. So from time to time, we freelance art or outsource art or purchase art outright instead of licensing, and we are starting to come we're starting to run into the problem of AI art being bought, but it's not the art department that gets to choose the art, right? It's other people. And those other people don't have the discerning eye that an artist have to know that these things are all AI art. And when they purchase it, it's not final. Like we have to take the artwork and change it up or like make sure it gets to spec for it to actually be set. So an example is like, yes, I'm making this artwork for the comic, but if I want to print it in a book format or a web format, there's a way that you have to set it up in order for it to actually go through to production. So imagine I purchased this artwork and then I'm the artist in the house, like the internal artist, right? And I receive the artwork and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, let me prepare it for production. But what we're getting is a bunch of art that's not art. It's not done by hand and it's not even changed. Like it's one thing to like, you know, um use AI art as a backdrop or, start to your work. It's another thing where you just generated it. There's no layers. The art is too low resolution. It's not even finished. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have any of you guys actually tried making AI art and see how the results look like? Because it's funny. It's actually funny to actually explain. But I think the average person is starting to see once they get orders, like let's say they purchase something from Amazon, that they're starting to see like, oh, this stuff doesn't look so good. Have any of you guys tried AI art? Oh, yeah, that's because I don't do lives as often as I should. But I'm trying to be consistent, so you'll see me more often on Tuesdays unless I'm not feeling well. Exactly. So you understand. So what end up happening is like, for example, if this was AI generated, her eye would be like up here, and she'd have like a dark color eye and then a blue eye, and then her mouth is all over the place. Her hands would be weird. These lines wouldn't be clean or connected. Like they'd just be like squiggly or something. Like there's when you from afar, it kind of looks like a shape. It's like when you do a preliminary sketch or you um, rough down the large shapes of a painting before you go into the details. AI can't distinguish details. It just distinguish contrast and large shape. I will say Midjourney is pretty good, but it seems like people don't want to pay for Midjourney. I don't know. And I also think that Midjourney is kind of like stuck into one or two styles or something. I don't. But then again, Midjourney is that good because they really sat there and just like took people's stuff. So we're running into the point where we're redoing the whole entire artwork. And now it seems like whoever is the artist that they're buying, the art studio, not the artist that they're buying from, they're not checking to make sure that the artwork is actually usable. And I think we're getting to a point where I think us in-house artists may start to push back and say, hey, you're paying for this much for something. Um, you need to get your money back because this is not usable. That's where we are at this point. And I know there was the story competition for sci-fi that was also having a problem because like you can tell like the thing just doesn't know how to make something unique. And sometimes I try to use it for something basic or just something for representation and not representation like color per se, just to represent an idea. Sorry. But it could be for color too. But to represent an idea, and the thing can't. I mean, wow. It just shows just how limiting art and expression in social media has been in the last couple of years. That something generic, let's say a dog, right? You just want to say a dog smiling. Even a dog smiling sometimes it's not that great, right? But sometimes you just want to like show something as generic as that, but then you want to spin on it like a dog smiling, riding a bicycle. It may get it. I think some of them are good at that, but then you go and you're like, that bicycle doesn't look right, or why does it has like two and a half wheels or some junk. Um, so we're getting to that point, and the problem again with AI that I have is that the average person is not noticing it. And it's unfortunate because I used to work for as a freelancer for one of these places where you purchase artwork to use for production, and my job was to correct the stuff that the artists make. Now, back then the artist actually was making the artwork. They just kind of was quick about it because unfortunately these things are like art mill houses, right? We sell them for anywhere from $300 to $600, but the artist only gets half, and the art mill house gets the other half. But they have like a ton of artists from all over the world, usually in places where the cost of living is cheaper, because I could not live off of $150 per artwork that I create that's going to be, mass produced. Um, and only sell like four or five things per month, but expect to create like 30 things per month. You know what I mean? So, what I'm suspecting is happening is that even those artists, with the cost of living and the extent that they are making stuff, I wouldn't even be surprised if the print house themselves just started having somebody in the office who's like, yeah, I could make all this with just AI and to cut costs or whatever, and then they're making it, but they really don't understand that as artists we can catch it pretty quickly, especially if we have to stare at it and like correct the work, and that end up losing the company money when it comes to things like that. So that's been the thing, like it just kind of we just kind of like popped up, and now our actual art director, because again they're not the person that purchased the artwork, they purchase it, they purchase artwork themselves, but other people of departments purchase artwork on their own. um we're probably gonna have to have a talk about the fact that we might need to be my neighbors. But yeah, we're getting to a point where we might have to like have a talk or a meeting saying, hey, you guys are spending this kind of money on stuff that's costing you money, because you're paying our wages to correct this, and we don't have that time. Like the whole purpose of purchasing artwork or freelancing artwork is because we ourselves don't have time. We make artwork too, but even we have other stuff to do. Basically, is basically where I'm getting at. you know so that's the thing that I'm really am concerned, is just there's too many people just don't understand that there's more to art than just something than pretty shapes and blobs. Mm. Yeah. I mean, there are topics like there's art stuff that I don't really care to draw again and again and again. Like sometimes your brain is just like, or it's so, as an in-house artist, there's an art style that's just not your thing. Like I was requested to make like a Marie Antoinette cakes, and that sounds really cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of artists who likes that kind of stuff. I don't. And my brain was like at a fog about it. So I just kind of did some renderings just to see, just to break, I guess, to break my brain mentally from my own limitations of what it looked like. And then once I got like, oh, okay, it looks like that, then I sat and made the artwork. separate from that. It was just more to just trigger my brain to see something, because the actual stuff that, and I was using Adobe, so they use license work, even though they just kind of like backpedal to use license work. It's not like they ask people ahead of time, hey, can we use your stuff to train your data? No. Um, but yeah, none of it's usable. Like, and even if it was usable, you run into the risk of AI regenerating the same exact thing, because one, you can't copyright it. And for, machine, for actual production work that's going to be used for commercial purposes, you kind of need to do the job that you were paid for, even though a lot of companies seems dead set on not paying people enough money. Like, I'm not even going to talk about, oh, pay what you're worth, which it's just, pay what I can actually live. Like, think about it. Like, what you're asking me to do, does it make sense for me to live off of this? Because I can't. Okay. And if the company says, well, we can't pay you that, I'm like, well, you could find someone else. You can find someone else, and I can find me a different kind of job. And it's honestly, at this point, it's no hard feelings. It's just like, I get it. You can't pay. Some can, but a lot of them can't. You can't pay, and I can't work for you. Like, we're both just kind of just like, you know, struggling. And I'm not going to let the stream get dark. I'm sorry. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay. But yeah, I just don't see AI coming to what I needed to do anytime soon. Another good example, actually, of where AI doesn't work is, it is very much a creative, it is very much a drain in general, because it's tedious. What ended up happening is, let's say another team bought the stuff, right? And then they sold it, they showed it to whatever presentation. So now whoever's ordering it agreed to the artwork. It's not a style, it's nowhere near your style. They agreed to the artwork, and then they come at you, and then they like, okay, we purchased this, set it for production. And then you just like, this doesn't fit the production limitation. I'm either going to redo this artwork, or there's some massive changes to do to the artwork that it almost doesn't look as close to what you saw. um, and then it has to go back over to the approval again, the whole approval cycle, which is another waste of money, right? Because you thought you could buy this to save time, only for you to have to backtrack and save and spend more time trying to redo the work that you did already, not only as an artist but just in general as a uh, as a production. What else? Yeah, so going back to the thought that I was talking about with my my things with AI. So I'm sure by now you guys probably seen like all of these like memes and inundated about OpenAI, which is a company that does Chat GPT. They did a GPT 4.0 whatever, where they basically talking to, for lack of a better word, her. Her was a sci-fi movie, one that I didn't watch because I personally don't care for the whole artificial intelligence parasocial with the you know, the android dream of electric sheep kind of, like, I personally just don't care. Because I feel like any of those kind of sci-fis always feel like us constantly kind of like, uh what you call it, how should I explain this abstract thought? I just feel like it's always us trying to not be patient or delay satisfaction or something. Yeah, that's the best way I can say it. And it's too much of a temptation that they're trying to pass off as a benefit. That's the best way I can say it. And I say it knowing that I myself am, I'm not going to be unhumble and be like, well, I'm not weak to those things. It's only weak people, or it's only this, that kind of people that fall for. It's like, no, like, if you are raised around a thing, like, it's very easy for you to find it normalized. Like, for example, do any of us go around sitting there, memorizing numbers of all our friends and family? Can you know one or two numbers to call in case you broke your phone or something, and then you need to use someone else's phone? Like, can you do that? You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. So, which is fine. I'm fine with the phone. Like, the phone is great benefit, but these kind of shows is like, that's not an improvement to humanity. It's just us just kind of like not doing avoiding the hard things as much as possible. And I think it's more painful because when you are forced to do the hard thing, it'll be harder on you if you can even do it, because you're not doing it in the smaller things, if I'm making sense. And again, I say that as someone who's naturally like, I, listen, I am a very sensitive person. Anyways, going back to what I was trying to say is that OpenAI put out her, and one of the things people were just like, "Oh my god, we could translate. Oh my god, that's so good." Da, 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 da. So I recently came back from my trip from Japan, and I was using Google Translate. And the funny thing is like, I was trying to memorize words as I use the translator because it's just so tedious to wait that delay for basic things. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just so annoying. But more than anything, everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's so revolutionary, it's so cool." But you notice in all of the demos, and this is what irritates me. Have you guys noticed? Yeah. I'm sure they missed me after that 2 weeks, because my golly, did they drop a bunch of urgent and emergency projects. Like, it's like 5:20 and I'm supposed to leave, and next thing you know, we need this done. I'm like, okay, we need this correction done. Okay, we need this done. Sure. But what I was gonna say is like, if you notice in OpenAI that they demoed, I think, French and maybe German, Spanish, like they always demoing these like European languages, which I don't think German is Latin based. I don't think, maybe, perhaps, I'm not sure. You guys tell me if you know German. They never demo like any Asian language. Or I'm assuming Abrahamic language. Forgive me, I don't know those languages either. You understand? Like, they always be demoing like languages that is so close to the English language structure. And it's like, yeah, there's no delay, there's no latency, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, but let me know how this thing does with like it, some kind of African language that is commonly used, because we got a lot of Africans here of all various types, and I think like Twi is pretty known here. Um, but yeah, let me know when you demo like Chinese. Let me know when you demo Japanese, since it's currently one of the top tourist destinations. Like, let me know when you demo Vietnamese. Like, let me know when you do that. Uh, because this constant demoing of French and Spanish is like, okay. I mean, the regular Google Translate could probably do it pretty well too. So, okay. Yeah, but English has some form. I'm sure English is a mix of two, but English does have some form of base of Latin. Well, technical English, like if you look up science and science stuff, like medical terms and things like that. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of bored, guys. Like, tell me when you can get this to speak an Asian language. And who picked her personality? Like, what's I'm not gonna get into this fact that I was just like, who picked this woman's, well, the female voice sounding version of AI's personality? These weird giggles. I'm ready. Like, I'm like, what is that? I'm ready when you are. And, and these weird slow delay, and it's like, I could do without. I could do without, guys. Pretty much. English is everywhere, which makes it both difficult and easier to learn. It's like, it's adaptable. We'll figure it out, you know? But yeah, this is that was my day. And that's not the reason why I was thinking of not showing up today. I mean, I think it was. I think maybe, perhaps. I was full of energy yesterday, but today I'm trying to keep to a schedule. So, yeah. I think I might. The only thing is, I probably need to get to working on the background of this later on. But it's almost 9:30, and I think once I'm gonna finish this panel, once I finish this panel, I'm gonna head on out for tonight. But I guess the last topic I probably will talk about is, um, what are your projects for the next couple of months? I've been working some markets, but of course it's Florida, so it's hot as hell. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so hot. So I had a market this weekend. And I am probably going to have not probably, I have another market this weekend. And then afterwards, I think I have one in June, and that's it. I'm not having any more summer markets because my goodness. And it's the same thing for the people who are coming by. Like, it's kind of hard to like buy anything when it is so hot outside. Oh, I mean, it's like we're talking anywhere from 95 to like 105, 100% humidity. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that if we're under the shade and under the tent, that would be good. We won't feel bad. It won't be too bad. I can handle heat. Like right now, we don't have an AC. We have AC, but we don't have it on right now. So the house is about 83, 84 degrees. I usually keep the house anywhere from 80 to 83 degrees. So it's not like I'm shocking my system from heat. Maybe get it to a 79 if somebody is particularly not feeling well. But my goodness, I just, oh, that was something. That was an experience. That was dumb. And I don't know how the next market's gonna be for tomorrow. One of them I switched it to an awning, but it don't matter. Like when it's 100% humidity, it don't matter if you're underneath nothing. Like, yo, I don't. And then everything went up in price in terms of like energy, yo. Was it? I mean, gas went up like 30 cents overnight. And I'm just like, yo, this will be one hell of a heat, guys. Whew. I know. What's so funny? I've been looking at like randomly because people keep talking about Detroit. And so today I just did a quick Google search of like what's going on in Detroit. And yo, they got houses still in like the 35 to 100,000 range. Anything cheaper is going to be owned by the government, and it's a total like redo job, and they expect you to do it within 6 months. So you'd end up spending like 100,000 on just fixing up the house, like anywhere from 50 to 100,000 on just fixing up the house in a neighborhood that ain't that great. So I don't care for that. But the if you want to buy like pretty much semi-usable home, it's around like 50 to 100 to get you started, and after that they do have like nicer homes that's like in the 200s 300s and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, it's still relatively affordable, with the assumption that you get your job somewhere else, because I wouldn't depend on getting a job in the city. I know they say jobs are plentiful, but not the job that I do, so it is what it is. But I'm like, maybe it's about time for me to like move on up to someplace a little bit cooler, you know. And I'm definitely am tempted. And right now I have like, I got some tropical plants, like mangoes and avocados. I got quite a bit of those, soursops and stuff like that. Bananas, my tomatoes have finished up right now, so we've pretty much finished collecting the tomatoes right now. The potatoes are in, the watermelons, poor things, they need more water. So I got like, I'm enjoying, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I live in a tropical climate. I got some bananas, some plantains, all that good stuff. But I'm like, I don't know, I'm ready for like, apples and apples and broccoli and what else? What else would I like? I definitely would love to have an actual cherry blossom tree, because why not? You know, so what else do I like? I like all of my carnivorous vegetables. So my cauliflowers, my broccolis, and stuff like that. You can grow them in Florida. They just like you just have to grow them in um, the winter months, because it's not winter. It's just a regular normal temperature for us. What else? What else do we got here? What else would I like? Plums. I would love to have grow me some plums this further up north, and then just have like my greenhouse or whatever. And pretty soon, who knows, if things just keeps getting hotter and hotter, because this past winter wasn't that cold for many people. I was up north um during a time that should have been cooler, but it was like 45 to 55 degrees. So, and Japan was pretty sweltering. The northern part was still in the 40s, but down in central Tokyo area was, my goodness, it was like 78. And they don't got AC all that much. Yo, they don't got AC. Yeah, they don't got AC. I don't know how they do it, because if it's already in the 78s in April, uh, and no AC. During during like whatchamacallit, transit, not transit, commute hours, and there's no AC. Huh. I think after I left, they had like a heat stroke warning advisory, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, but yeah, I am going to finish up the markets and then try to focus more on my online shop. I don't get much people on the online shop, and I know part of it is just because I just need to work on that some more. Yes, there's the economy and all that good jazz, but I need at least people to actually see the site. You know what I mean? And then after that, I have some admin stuff, like regular administration things that you need to work on when you're doing like little businesses and things like that. And then, oh, I think they put on the AC. I can feel it. Yeah, they did. So I'm gonna close. Did I close my window? No, I didn't. Okay, I gotta close my window. But yeah, some admin stuff, and then I have, let's see, this is 4-page threads. I have about 8-page spreads of the comic, so roughly 16 pages. And then I would like to start working on the the novel that I'm working on, like a little simple pulp novel, light novel, junior novel, that good, all that good stuff. Okay. all in all, I hope that you guys are getting a chance to buy yourself some time to do work on the projects that means to you, because I'm telling you, when you wake up and you're like in your 30s and you're just like, what have I done? It's not like I haven't done things, but it's not stuff that it's more like I did things that others required of me to do, and not much of anything that I set out to do. I didn't do them because it was just so easy to just, put anything of my own stuff on the back burner. And now I'm just like, all right, I'm going to work on the stuff that I want to work on. So hopefully this motivates you if you happen to be in that same kind of rut. And hopefully I get to see you. Those who maybe catch me on the replay, I hope to see you guys next Tuesday. Hopefully I keep my word and get things done next Tuesday. I know it's a holiday weekend. I'm gonna go get myself a grill. Yeah, just don't even try to chase perfectionism, because I think that's another issue with us as artists. We're so hard on ourselves. I just say, like, just go for it, really. Alright. Ooh, this marker is done. Look at this. I mean, I could probably dip it in some water and make a cool graphic out of it. I'll think about it. But I'm probably going to set it to the side to do that with. Oh, and don't count on me to use the materials like they're supposed to. I just use them however works for me. I'm sure there is some semblance of a right way to use it, especially if you want your tools to last longer. I just don't know how to do that. Okay. Hope that works. All right. Let's add in some panels. Technically, the panels I do digitally. I don't really do them by hand, but I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of like give myself a visual, but I'm probably gonna finish, like, I'll clean this up at a later date. Let's see here. I need a bigger pen. We're all just reassessing what we're gonna do and what we have done. I do know that later tonight I'm probably gonna work. Not probably. I will definitely work on my Japanese a bit, because I've been reinvigorated. I don't see myself ever really being like past maybe like N3, which is N5 is the lowest, N1 is the highest in terms of that grading structure, because then there's something past that. But let's say if you needed to work in Japan, N2 is the minimum that you need, but that's not enough for you to like really thrive, but it's the minimum. But I hope to get to like an N3 level, and from there just enjoy the language. Oh, I think I'm going to move this a little further. No, it's not the most slickest line, but again, like, at this point, when you could use the computer for everything, I think me having mistakes is going to make a difference nowadays, anyways. But I'm sure I'll get better and better over time. There's been a lot more, and I probably start reposting it on my community tab. A lot more like mangaka content, writing content, art content, getting back into things. That's just been really motivating me. Which is partially aggravating me about my job too, because it's like, oh, now I have the artist bug. You know, I was just so focused on just like get the work, get the work, get the work, and now I got the work, and now I'm just like, and now I just want to paint. I just want to draw, and I just want to paint, and I just want to write, and I just want to create. I even want to do some sewing. So next week will definitely be figuring out how to use my sewing machine, because I really want to do that whole upcycling dead stock thing. Make some really cool, like really cool jeans, really cool pants now. It's not like I'm a fashion girly or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I'm just bored. Not bored of work, but just like, well, I'm bored of work, but like I'm bored of the stuff that's coming out now, and they're not even good quality. And it's like, man, we got all this great material here that I could just use. And tell you, like, during the trip of Japan, I wasn't like, oh, jumping in. I was jumpy at one point. I definitely was, but I wasn't jumpy immediately. But as the day goes by, the more it's like the experience marinated in my head. It's like I've seen so much art and craftsmanship. It's like I see so much that could experience. And then I also saw the result of hyper commercializing and unifying things, because again, I don't know why all of these like non-Japanese name brand. There was also a bunch of Japanese name brands I've never heard of, but there was so much like non-Japanese name brands, which nothing against them, but it's like I have them here in the States, you know? So, but there was just so much, like you see both sides of what could and could not be. Like you could come up with something really good and or really bad, but it's different, you know? And I've just been very inspired. Okay. Anyways, I think that'll be good to end at this point. It's almost an hour. It's like a few more minutes. So if there's not a last minute questions, let me know. These were the materials. I haven't finished. I haven't used the gel pen, but this is where we are at. We finished the inking for this. So I'm going to scan them, clean them up. There's some like digital screens I'm going to add on Photoshop. Next stream, unless I'm not feeling well, I'm going to figure out how to tackle this background, because just because I don't feel all that confident doesn't mean I'm going to avoid it. So I'm going to be doing this next Tuesday, probably between 7:30 to 8:30 is when I'll start the stream, the same way I started today. It's basically I come from work, I lay down, I get a drink, just one, and then once I rest up a bit, I relax my brain, I come and I'll do the stream regardless. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So well, you're free to message me on YouTube if you have like a general question. I could at least keep it on top of mind for my next stream, or you could post about it. Actually, you could comment it if you don't mind commenting it in the video. You could comment it on the community tab. There's so many ways you could leave me a message. It's not like I'm inundated with a bunch of messages and comments, so you're gonna get plenty. Like I'll eventually read it. So yeah, Ray, I hope to see you next time. Maybe get your own pen and paper, or your laptop or whatever, and get yourself working. It's kind of like a study with me, because those are trending too. It's kind of a study with me, but it's a draw with me this time. Get yourself working. So all right, well, if nothing else, let me see. I will see you guys in the next one.